Good morning, everyone. Today I want to respond to one of the comments that Nathaniel left on one of my videos. He asks, do you have any tips for hitting pipes/bics, especially for undersized hitters? Great question. I personally used to struggle a lot with backcourt attacking and hitting pipes as an outside hitter. I think in America they call it bics for whatever reason, but I definitely have a few tips that I can give to anyone out there that's working on trying to improve their pipe. And for context, I didn't start running them really consistently until I was in year 12. I think in year 11 I ran a few pipes here and there when I was playing for my state team, but my school team didn't really run pipes. It wasn't a reliable option back then for me or the rest of the team. We didn't see much benefit in running it. Our offense was already at a really productive level of output, so we just didn't really see that it was necessary to invest more time. However, in year 12, it was something that I worked on with my school team a lot more, and then I also started playing club. That was my first year playing club. From that point, my pipe started to improve a lot more, just because of more practice, developing that chemistry, working on that timing with my setters. I remember hitting one of the best pipes of my life in year 12. It was in a really big game against the Scots College. Big rival school, really important game to finish the season off strong, and we were able to win that. And I was also able to get some nice highlights that game, which was cool. Fast forward to 2024, my first year out of high school. Pipe attacks became a real offensive threat in my club team, and I was able to be pretty effective, if I would say so myself, in executing the pipe attack consistently. Okay, the main recommendations I would give to improve your pipes, to improve your bics would be, number one, work on your broad jump. Obviously, for a front court attack, we don't need to do this as much because we're already close to the net, so we don't need to reach more. If we do reach more with our feet, then we're gonna land on someone and probably injure them or ourselves. I know I struggled a lot with this at the start of when I started trying to run pipes and improve it. Committing to your jump is going to be really crucial because you're starting from a point so far back and your aim is to jump really far forward and also get really high so you can be aggressive. Committing to your jump mentally, cueing yourself so that you can do that physically as well, that's really going to help you execute that jump really well. We have to do everything we can in our power to make it as easy for us as possible to hit the ball well and where we want it to. Let's say this is the 3-meter line or the 10-foot line if you're from the US, and this is the net, right? We have to make sure we can jump from here and almost land like here. So we pretty much want to land at the net when we finish our jump. That's going to make it so that you can be as aggressive as you can and also make it as easy as you can to hit a good pipe. With this comes number 2, communicating with your setter how you want your sets. Obviously, we know setters aren't perfect. They can be pretty close to perfect at a good level. It's up to you to always communicate with your setter, continually give feedback on what kind of sets worked well, which ones you want to keep getting, and what kind of sets you struggled with more that you want less of. Making sure that you nail your communication with your setter is going to be one of the biggest reasons for your success in hitting pipes. Well, most hitters know we're nothing without our setters, right? Every team heavily relies on their setter to be able to run a good offense and therefore win the game. Making sure that you are working on your chemistry with your setter and also showing them your appreciation when you get a good set. That helps you become more consistent with your hitting and then as a result improves your team's offense as a whole. The third thing I'd recommend is thinking about contact. As an undersized hitter, we need to think about how we can hit the ball so we can achieve 2 goals. Be as consistent as we can, meaning the ball goes in, and also aggressive. Right? With consistency, we need to make sure that since we probably are hitting it at a lower point, instead of hitting it like up here, someone like Nikolov.
Oh, right now, Bulgaria's down. Who are they going to go to?
We're probably going to be contacting it maybe around here, right? Maybe someone like Engapeth, undersized, right?
On that side of the net, they're just completely in sync right now.
The difference between hitting it from up here and down here is you can hit down a lot more from this angle and you have to hit forward more from this angle. Being able to hit down more gives you the luxury of not needing to stress about your hitting contact too much, whereas hitting from a more flat angle forces you to have good contact. Otherwise the ball's just going to go out or it's going to go into the net. Okay, prioritizing working on your wrist snap, working on your ability to consistently hit the ball with a lot of topspin so that you're able to achieve those 2 goals is really important. So yeah, working on your contact in your own time, that would be my third recommendation. The fourth recommendation I have is working on where you're hitting it. There's a few options on where you can hit your pipe. You can hit it to 5, you can hit it to 1, 6, and then you can also hit it off hands and you can tip it as well. All can be effective options just depending on each context of the defense and the block. In general, hitting to position 5 and 1 are going to be really effective if you're able to see where the blockers are blocking, or if you know where the blockers usually block. Pipes you're going to be able to exploit that. If you know they consistently block 6, then you have both options, 5 and 1. If you know they consistently block 1, then you have 5 open. If you know they consistently block 5, then you have 1 open. From personal experience, I always had a lot of success hitting to position 5. Usually blockers would typically just block the straight channel. So if I was to hit position 6, I'd probably get riffed. But since I hit around the block, then it was a successful attack. So yeah, just being mindful and being more selective of where you're hitting and how you're hitting. You have to be ready to fix the ball if the set is off. The set won't always be perfect. When it's there, go for it. When it's not, we have to be prepared enough to be able to fix the ball, put it in a good spot instead of just giving a free ball over or hitting it out, sending it to the back wall or something like that. We need to make sure we're not wasting each ball and doing the best we can with what we have in that situation. Over time, you develop a better sense of what is open, what the block looks like, and how you can navigate that. In the beginning, it might be a little bit harder because you're focusing on so many things, but understand that that's part of the process and you're going to gradually get better with time and experience and reps. Okay, what's the 5th thing I want to talk about? I'm wasting my camera storage as I'm thinking. What would I tell my younger self who was trying to work on hitting pipes? The last point I have, number 5, would be remember to play defense after. What that means is you're going to be severely out of position after you run your lane and the ball stays in play. Knowing this, we need to make sure that after we run our lane, whether we hit or we don't hit, we're ready to play defense from that point. After we hit, we hustle to get back to our defensive position. And when we don't hit, what usually happens is after you run your lane, you don't get set, you go to cover the front court outside or the front court oppo. And you also need to make sure that you communicate this with your back court, usually your libero, because you're going to be covering where they usually are. So they can just switch with you and then happy days. Other than that, I think that's all I wanted to cover for this video. I hope that helped you, Nathaniel, and anyone else out there who's trying to work on their pipe attack. Just remember, it's going to be a long process and it's going to take a lot of mistakes. But as long as you learn from it, you're going to keep getting better. All right, have a good day, everyone. Stay hydrated.